I do want to share this one in the continued spirit of just softball questions. This week, this question says, I know we are supposed to love one another, every single other. What do we do about those who are hard to love because we are afraid of them? Or they're mean? How do we overcome fear in order to love? Whew, that's a pretty big one, right? I should have saved that for like a whole entire sermon. Maybe it will be an entire sermon sometime. I will share that for me, this is one where it's helpful for me to think of love as something that we do, not just an emotion that we feel. Because in my experience, I can't actually force myself to have emotions, right? But when we think of love as the ways that we orient ourselves towards other people, the ways that we interact with them, someone that I'm afraid of, or someone who, whether I'm just afraid of them and that's not a real thing, or they really mean me harm, because there are scary people in the world who mean us harm, who try to hurt us. I probably am not going to choose to love that person by spending a lot of time in the same space as them. But this is where, for me as a Christian, prayer is helpful, because I do believe that when we orient ourselves towards God and are bound together by that thing that I call God, that we are able to share in life with one another. And the prayers that I say really do connect with other people in ways that I don't understand. And so even when I'm afraid of someone, I can pray for them. And I don't mean that to sound trite, like, oh, I'll just pray for them. I mean that I can really lay in my bed at night and imagine them out there in the world, sending God's love and healing and care to them. And in that way, stay connected to them in a way that is still safe for me. But that also keeps my heart open to not being hardened against them. And all of that is a lot easier said than done. I bet you all have really good answers to this question too, so maybe at fellowship hour, just like casually, like, hey, how was your week? You want to talk about how to love people that you're afraid of? You could like keep the conversation going, right? And like in a completely unawkward way. Or if you're in Zoom, you could just type your happy little answer into the chat, and that would be perfect.